Hello everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelorette Recap, a guy's review premiering June 7th, 2021 with Katie Thurston. In the meantime, we are picking at scraps for some stories within the Bachelor Nation. And of course, a rumor that Bill Gates will be in the running for the next senior Bachelor lead. This is just not going to happen. But, fans, they just like to piece together BS when there's nothing else to do. You know what I mean? Bill Gates as Bachelor. I mean, it was hard enough to even find an article online that was going to discuss this rumor. And, of course, Screen Rant was the best I can do. When I read Screen Rant, it means no one else is reporting on a story. I mean, even The Sun didn't want to take this one. You know what I mean? Screen Rant is like the kids menu at Applebee's that you just draw on and spill your ketchup on when there's nothing better to do. All right, so Bachelor, fans pitch Bill Gates for a senior spinoff lead after divorce. Look, it ain't gonna happen. I mean, when you're that rich, I mean, the dude's trying to, curing malaria, making COVID vaccines, and I don't think getting HPV at Ramada Inn is in his forecast. Looking at you, season 25. All right, so anyhow, TMZ, not exactly the beacon of moral journalism, but moral and journalism shouldn't go together anyway. But anyway, they had this little story here that the family's furious at Bill Gates during a secret trip ahead of the divorce. Do you want to feel poor? Well, watch out for this story. Bill Gates is loaded. Melinda Gates, they've been married for 27 years. He transferred billions of dollars in stock to her on the day of the divorce. It's been in the work for months. And it makes you wonder, can money buy happiness? No, of course not. But it can sure pay for therapy, of which wasn't enough for them. But we'll talk about some of the Bachelor contestants that are still together, which, by the way, the Bachelor franchise has a terrible record for relationships lasting long term. They cast the people young. They cast them in situations that aren't going to be like their reality. You know what I mean? It's one thing to fall in love in a mansion. Next thing you know, you're at a condo in Toronto being like, is this love? It was love at the beach, but I don't know if this is love anymore. Well, the last 3 seasons of The Bachelor or Bachelorette are all still together. Matt James and Rachel Kirkconnell broken up, back together. Dale Moss and Claire Crowley broken up and back together. And of course, Tayshia and Zach still together. So I know this is only like a 6-month window for the last 3 seasons, but the pressure's on you, Katie Thurston. All right, the pressure's on you. Then we got Michelle Young after that. Can we do a clean sweep? I mean, if there's one thing to come out of this pandemic, maybe people finding love. Well, Bill Gates is like, hold my very expensive yacht mimosa here. So let's just read this article. Let's go through it. The Bill and Melinda divorce has been a done deal for months, TMZ has learned, and they had a plan to announce it back in March, a plan that included renting a remote private island where the entire family, with one big exception, could avoid the media once the announcement was made. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ. Wealth is directly related to water. Okay, water is the ultimate resource, right? It's the new gold. So it's like, you get a house in the Midwest, $100,000. You get a house on the East Coast and you can actually see the ocean 3 miles away, $500,000. You can smell the ocean, $800,000. Can you touch the ocean? $1 million. Is the ocean surrounding your island? You're Bill Gates. Or in this case, Melinda Gates. Our sources say Melinda Gates rented I'm going to mess this up. Calvini Island in Grenada. You're not rich when you can't pronounce the island that they rented. Boy, you're renting the island? Jeez. Falling on tough times? Buy the thing. Pull an Epstein. Or don't. Please don't. She rented the entire island for $132K a night. The plan was for Melinda and the kids, as well as their significant others, to come to the island, except Bill. We're told everybody in the family already knew Bill and Melinda were divorcing. There was a considerable amount of acrimony associated with the split, and we're told virtually everyone in the family took Melinda's side. Another way of putting it, we're told they were very angry at Bill, and that's why he wasn't invited. All right, of course, as far as media goes and sources, we have to take this with a grain of salt because we have no idea what's going on, and these sources, as far as I'm concerned, mean nothing to me, but still interesting nonetheless. The reason for going to the island is so no one from the media could reach them and ask about the split when it was announced during their stay. What a privilege. What a privilege, right? We spend the last decade trying to provide internet and Wi-Fi to the whole global world, right? We're like, hey, we need to, solve the issue. We need to connect everybody. Oh, we're getting divorced? Find me an island with no Wi-Fi. There's like one Wi-Fi code. They just burn it up. They're like, no, I don't think so. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? You know what I would give to not need this thing? To just take my phone and just skip it across the ocean I just rented? Oh, that would be nice. But instead, I'm frantically responding to comments so I can afford to have a kid. All right, leave a comment. Hit the like button, subscribe if you don't mind. Help me find a family. The reason for going to the islands so no one from the media could reach them, but there was a problem. Lawyers for both Bill and Melinda were trying to hash out a divorce settlement, and there was still outstanding issues that couldn't be resolved at the time of the trip. Like, who's going to update Microsoft 95? Isn't it wild how rich they are and like who even has Microsoft? I don't know. Maybe I'm just an Apple snob here. So here's the takeaway. First, we're told this was not a friendly split. We're told Melinda and most of the family were furious at Bill for various things they claim he had done, which is very surprising, by the way. It's very surprising because they've been in the media and you're like, I wouldn't have noticed the difference. But then again, he's not like necessarily a beacon of personality where you can just read his face. If you develop some of the leading software in the world, chances are I can't read your face. You're kind of stone cold. Second, it's clear this divorce had been a long time in the making. Finally, it appeared they had all but reached a property settlement, given the lawyers had been working on it for months, and Bill transferred nearly $2 billion in stock to Melinda on the very day she filed for divorce. These things are not done piecemeal. It would almost certainly have been part of a global settlement. I just want the wealth where I can be part of a global settlement. You know, instead it's like I'm part of a regional settlement. Not even that. But, you know, here's the deal, right? Marriages, you're a team. You have businesses together. And the easy thing, I always say like the low IQ way to look at things and think she's a gold digger, she's stealing all this money, this and that. When you decide to get married, when you decide to be a team, when you factor in the equity of time, the time you put into a relationship, even if the wife stays home and raises the kids, not that this was the case here, but if even if that happens, she's entitled to a portion of the money the man made during his prime earning years. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just how it goes. Call me a simp. Simp Master Dave, that's what they call me. Simp Master. But that's how it goes. And boy, maybe Tasha in 30 years will be using this video against me to win a lot of money. But the point is you're a team. You work together, you live together, you die together. Or you divorce together, and in which case, she's entitled to a portion of his money. I mean, that's just how it works, right, folks? So they didn't have a prenup. Not that I think Bill Gates cares at all. I mean, I think it's one of those things like it's just paperwork to them. All right, you get that home. Well, I like that home and at the home entertainment. It's like they're not fighting over who's going to survive and have money at the end. They're kind of like, well, there's some nostalgia there. I liked the saltwater pool. Can I keep the saltwater pool? All right, I'll give you the hot tub with the jet ski. I don't know. So anyway, there's other stories here where, you just need sometimes you need to get the courts involved. I think it's better to not go to a judge, but to go to some sort of like mediation, and just work this thing out in the meantime. But when you look at an example like Channing Tatum and Jenna, they were fighting over the Magic Mike money because, of course, he's kind of like the star and the stud of Magic Mike, but she's behind the scenes. Behind every great man is a woman who's going to take your money. I'm kidding. Behind every great man, there's probably, a nanny that's going to split you up. Ben Affleck, how are you? So, no, that wasn't the case. I digress. I'm going to get in trouble for this one. No, I'm fighting for the ladies. I'm fighting for equality is what I'm fighting for. And if you're in a relationship where the man stays home and raises the family while the woman, spends her, peak earning years out there making money, I think it's right for the man to be covered as well. We have to get rid of the trope that one person's just lazy. As we all know, the real heroes out there are the moms. Okay? No, it's true. Trust me. And I don't have any kids, so don't trust me. But raising a child and raising a family and managing the household is far harder than any other job out there. Sure, maybe an oil rig's tough and there's some other jobs. All right, I hear you. But, you know what I mean? It's like Channing Tatum's out there doing dance moves, in baby oil. Okay? You know what I mean? Anyway, that's story. So they're trying to figure out all their money and their wealth. But here's the deal. Here's the thing with divorce, right? We call it a failure. Therapists say, in fact, it could mean the marriage was a success. The real failure in anything in life is sticking to something that's not working out. I'm not saying ditch something the second you have hard times. Not at all. Looking at you, Matt James and Rachel Kirkconnell. Good on them. Yeah, maybe they broke up. Maybe it was messy. But, they righted their course and they're back together. So the idea that we stuck it together for 50 years. I mean, how many people have parents that just hate each other, but they're like, we're married. Shut up, Nancy. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. I think in the end, everyone, we need to preach authenticity. For my relationship, I was the cynical kind of bachelor single guy where I'm like, look, statistically, marriages just don't work out. They don't work out. But what does? You have to pursue your marriage, hoping it will work out, but also understanding you need to give your partner the space and energy to grow so they don't resent. Like, the last thing I would ever want is for me to have ultimate success and my fiance doesn't, because then she's going to resent me for kind of clipping her wings and not letting her fly. The idea is you guys fly together. Now, I'm not saying this didn't happen with Bill and Melinda. I mean, they were married for 27 years. At some point, you need to consider a marriage success when it lasts that long. Couples therapists say marriage is designed to help people grow, and sometimes they grow out of the relationship. Them's the ropes. Marriage can still be considered successful even if it ends in divorce. Couples therapists say marriage is designed to help people grow. Your marriage has one goal. Marriage has evolved into a people-growing machine. What does that mean? You have kids? That's a weird way to start the article. Marriage, he told me, is perfectly designed to help you grow up. It challenges your blind spots. Marriage will expose your selfishness. It'll expose your immaturity, and that's a good thing. It will continually ask you to grow in ways you couldn't have anticipated. I don't know if this article is even worth reading. As Lauren Markham, a psychologist in New York and the founder of Aha Parenting, put it when I interviewed her for another story about parenting with different child rearing styles, every clash is an opportunity to grow yourself. We don't get married so we can grow, but honestly, it's one of the best laboratories to do that. Marriage and family therapist and the founder of Innerwell Integrative Counseling and Couples Therapy in Vermont told me that people who accept the inevitability of change tend to do the best in relationships. Being able to embrace circumstances and experiences of our lives as an opportunity for growth and development as opposed to something that's either making us unhappy or making us happy is a key to relationship satisfaction. We can have more agency than maybe we realize. Yeah, I like the idea of growing and changing and having a growth mindset and understanding who I may be tomorrow isn't who I was yesterday. With that said, when you're trying to just be uniquely you and have a partner, I always said that the key is, and again, don't take any advice from me. Who am I? Who are you? But the key to a marriage is treating it as a dessert, not the main course. At the end of the day, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of whatever equity you put into your life, and then you can share the riches and the rewards with your partner, or it ends in a divorce and someone rents an island. I mean, either way, not the end of the world. I think, to be honest, this is going to sound cynical, but one of the ways I look at marriage, which I think helps me cope with the idea of getting rid of perfection, is understanding, even though you're saying your vows till death do us apart, you're still understanding and coping with in the moment, this might not work out. My fiance and I have talked about this all the time on our dating podcast, The Sap. Understanding there may be a world where this doesn't work out, it's okay. Because that way, every fight you have, you're not just flipping each other off and packing your bags. You're saying, look, things aren't going to be perfect. We're going to keep walking in the direction of being together, holding hands, and walking in that direction. If sometime in the future we change our minds, then that's something with great contemplation you have to accept. Versus people that get married and end up starting some fake family. Someone left a comment, when I was talking about Pilot Pete and how DJs, comedians, and pilots are the worst people to marry. Someone left a comment and said their dad had 5 different families because he was an airline pilot. And like the idea, and you hear this about like people that are closeted, the idea that people aren't living their authentic self, but they do what they think society wants them to do, and then they push that authentic self to some weird dark underground. That's just the world that happens out there. So the more you can be authentic to who you are, what you want out of life, the more you can like sort of reflect that in a partner. And, like they always say, you're the law of attractions. If you're with someone, who's an a-hole, or if you're with someone that brings you unhappiness, chances are you're not happy because it's the law of attraction. So, it's a kind of like stocks. If you want to attract the best partner possible, you got to be the best version of yourself. Because why would like a A-list partner want to be with you if you're not happy at your job, if you're overworked, if you're not eating healthy, if you're not doing all the things you can do to better yourself? So it's like stocks, like juice up your stock so someone can buy you at your high, then you get married, and then you start eating more pizza, and then you can let it all go. Deal? All right. So anyway, folks, we're already at 14 minutes. I might not even get through this article. But I was looking at the different Bachelor contestants that have made it, and there's only 15 slides. And by made it, I mean are still together. Desiree, Sean Lowe, Catherine, JoJo, and Jordan. I mean, they were a surprise. They've been together. Rachel and Brian, Jason and Molly. Ari and Lauren, they're having new babies soon. Claire and Dale represent. Tasha and Zach. And, of course, look, we got others from the spin-off series. Jade and Tanner. Ashley and Jared, go Rhode Island. Raven just got married to Adam. Astrid and Kevin, so this goes too far down the line. Kaylin and Dean living out of their van. I'm kidding, they bought a home. Shame on me. Hannah and Dylan, all right, they got a new backyard. So the whole deal is, it's like, look, you can find success out there. Maybe The Bachelor's the wrong place to expect. Get this stupid. Maybe The Bachelor's the wrong place to accept that success. Like, the show's not necessarily tailored around people actually finding success. It's tailored around drama. If the show is about people finding success, maybe they would have a bunch of people in their 30s that have dated all the wrongs and now they're looking for the right guy. Looking at you, Zach Clark. I mean, that's a true success, not some 23-year-old who doesn't know he's gay. And look, I'm not saying that in jest, but it's like these people haven't found themselves. They don't know what they're doing. And then they're just giving the codes to the nuclear weapons to their significant other. You got to take care of yourself. You got to find out who you are. You got to travel. You got to live. You got to date the wrong people, and maybe you'll meet someone who's right. Speaking of vaccine birthday cake, which I wasn't, but I just released my new vlog today, and that's my vaccine birthday cake. And I also do a backyard tour. Tasha and I just moved a couple months ago, and we just finished our backyard. So we have a brand new backyard tour. You can check this out on the vlog. And also, I wanted to thank everybody. As you know, a couple days ago, I accidentally deleted my whole mailing list, which I've been putting together so I could finally send out a newsletter. I'm sending it out tomorrow, Friday. Done. It'll be out by noon, okay? Newsletter sending out. If you haven't signed up, or if you don't know if you're on the list, link in the description, link in the comments on my pinned comments. You can go click on it. 687 people signed up. Thank you guys so much for that. That's amazing. If I could get that number up to 1,000, A+, that would be great. Of course, when the world opens back up, hoping to do a live Bachelor-themed stand-up tour, hoping to have Bachelor contestants and do Q&A with the audience, have a ton of fun with real funny stand-up comedians. That's the goal. I'm speaking it into existence right now. Tasha and I are going to get in a van and travel around the country. Hey, why not? We'll bring the dog. Who knows? Who knows, folks? Maybe we will. But I appreciate, and you know what? Leave a comment. If you're happily married and you have any advice you want to give me or anyone else looking to find that love, leave it in the comment section. If you've been divorced and you have any advice, leave it in the comment section. If you're unhappily married and you want to vent, leave it in the comment section. I appreciate hearing from all of you. Just understand, if we want to crowd pool our money together, I know an island for $132,000. Let's rent it for a night. All right, folks. I will see you later on. Live stream 4 p.m. today. Bye now.